My name is Larkin McGowan.
Okay.
I am the head of growth for Composable. And what does that mean? It means that I'm helping Kent Anderson, our founder, build and get the word out about our platform, right? So from sales and marketing, really understanding what engineers are facing on the industrial floor do they need, right? And what are the tools that are practical for them, right? So I'm here to preach that out and make sure that we're actually empowering engineers in the industrial space, that our platform is empowering engineers in the industrial space, right?
Yep.
And so that's really my mission, So again, that head of growth means, hey, let's get the word out for all of these engineers that have important jobs and need to be empowered.
I love it. I love it. So, Larkin, what exactly does your platform do? Because it's AI. People are scared of AI, even though we all carry Siri in our pockets. That's AI. A lot of people don't realize that's AI. Sure. But for those of us who are scared of AI, what does your platform do?
So there is definitely a myth to dispel.
Yeah.
Right? I think one of the top things I'm observing is that people hear AI and they think of one thing, and they think of generative AI, ChatGPT. They might also think, robots that are going to take over the world.
Yeah.
Right? And really what's interesting is there's actually many types of AI technology, just like you said, Siri's in your pocket. Siri is just a program, right?
Yeah.
And so there's actually what's called machine learning. There's deep learning reinforcement. Industrials have been using AI technology for, 30 years at least. Plus, I think the original PID controller was,
absolutely.
I think, 14 or something to that effect, right? So it's actually technology that's been used for many, many years. And I think what happens is when we default to go, AI just means some machine that's going to take over my job or take over the world, it's completely oversimplifying. There's just a little bit of stopping and going, wait a minute, humans are unique. We are the only ones that can think things through innovatively, have intuition, subject matter expertise. It's actually humans that are programming or thinking through, how can I have AI help me get my job done better, right? And so we accidentally, I think, in my opinion, pull humans out, but actually, especially industrials, there's no pulling humans out. They have expertise that nobody can replace. It's actually utilizing technology, get rid of the word AI, to continue to support us, getting our jobs done better, solving a problem we've never been able to solve before.
Absolutely.
Right? So the deeper I dive into it, the less afraid of AI I am.
Cool.
Because you start to understand that an LLM, a ChatGPT, is simply a statistical run of what's the most likely letter that should come next.
Right.
That's not intelligence. It's just a statistical model.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So what problem does Composable solve? And I apologize, I called it Composable earlier.
Oh, you're good.
Composable solve for engineers. How are they able to leverage AI through your platform?
Yeah, so the most unique thing that Composable is doing is we have a no-code UI. We also have a Python SDK. So we kind of say, hey, we've got this two-part platform.
Sure.
Why does that matter? Because the Python SDK has the data science side of it, and that's obviously valuable and wonderful, but it can be a black box, and it can also not bring in the subject matter expertise that's happening on an industry floor, and there's not access, right? Maybe that machine operator, that expert operator, isn't necessarily sitting at the table solving the process with, the data team or whatever it might be. So our no-code platform is actually now bringing your subject matter experts to the table to solve processes together.
Awesome.
Okay, so now what does that mean? Well, our platform is going to now bring in multiple technologies, not just one. There's not a God AI. It's not just LLMs. It is multiple technologies. Industrials already have massive data and incredible things they've done to run their processes, right? They're already doing phenomenal things that blow our minds, right? So we're not getting rid of any of that. We're keeping all of it, bringing it into the Composable platform. I call it the Power BI of AI.
Okay.
That's me, right? Because You can bring in your machine learning algorithm. You can utilize DRL. You can bring an LLM in for explainability. What we're saying is, no, you're the expert. You just need a platform to help you orchestrate your technologies and build essentially the anatomy of a process or of a multi-agent system that is right for you and your process, your subject matter expert, and your organization and the needs that you have.
So it's a collaboration tool? Would I oversimplify it by calling it a collaboration tool?
I think that's actually really interesting. I do not have deep expertise in IT versus OT.
Sure.
Personally, I didn't walk the floor and live in one of those lands.
Yeah.
But one of the things we do here is that there can be an IT-OT disconnect.
100%. Yep.
We are quite proud of the fact that our tool actually brings IT-OT together to actually solve. So even though we don't say, every day it's a collaboration tool, really what it's doing is it's bringing teams together that previously had a bit of silos, and you actually have to sit together to solve that process together. And it's really powerful.
I love that. So I see this being a tool then that really helps with some of the workforce skills gap that we see and we've been talking about. I mean, we've been talking about for 20, 25 years, as long as I've been in the industry. Is this something that could help solve that skills gap because we're able to collaborate, we're able to share knowledge a little bit more and bring younger people to the table?
This is so interesting. So actually, there's a YouTube video that our founder has that is definitely worth watching on this, right?
I will link it at the end of this video. Just send me the link. I'll delete this comment out, but send me that and I will link it to the video.
So yes, there's actually a couple of ways that we're talking about how this really both helps the organization with the skills gap and also helps the person, right? And the teams, right? So here's a quick story. So we have a Fortune 500 glass manufacturing company that we've had the pleasure of serving.
Sure.
And they actually had a machine that runs a very specific process that has to do with basically the molten glass and how it forms in order to create the container that's needed to be created, right? So they had an expert operator, or have an expert operator, his name is Alex, and he took 10 to 12 years to train on a machine that has 60 control actions, knobs, 100 sensor variables, 60 control actions, 100 sensor variables. It took him 10 to 12 years to learn how to run and, get this glass to form the exact way it needs to form, right? Well, the organization went, gosh, what happens when we lose Alex? What happens if he retires? What happens if he's sick? We haven't been able to onboard and get someone to his level of expertise. We have a gap that actually could impact continuity, obviously throughput or, necessary KPIs. And they came to us and said, we know, and Alex was in 100% agreement, we have to build a virtual operator. We have to capture and codify Alex's expertise to be able to run this process. Guess what? Alex loved this AI agent because what it did was it ran something that was very heavy on his shoulders. He's an expert operator needed for other parts of the business, right? So now he's got not only almost like an upskilling of his team.
Absolutely.
He's now taken off of 60 knobs. He still has full supervision. Everything, the agent was fully trained under his supervision. The output of the agent results were benchmarked and under his full supervision. And by the end of this process, actually expert certified the multi-agent system as that subject matter expert in that process.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so a literal virtual expert operator, still supervised by the human expert operator, solves that skills gap for the organization, raises up Alex's skills, brings it into his team. Right? And so let me take it one more notch. All of that knowledge and subject matter expertise that gets built into this agent can upskill and train workers.
Yeah, that then becomes part of your onboarding process.
Correct.
Oh my
exactly
God.
Right. Yeah,
That's
so
brilliant.
now you're talking about he's out sick, no problem.
That's brilliant. Oh, I love this so much.
Oh, I'm glad you do.
Larkin, I'm tickled. This has been an amazing product, amazing conversation. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.